Yo, what's good? It's your boy TA, first team all defense. And today's episode of Out the Mud, we get blessed with Sasha Vujačić, 10-year veteran, two-time champion. You know, had a lot of great battles with this guy, a huge competitor, a guy that overcame a lot to get into the league, man. I mean, coming from cities of wars and just to come all the way be a champion, man, great episode coming up. But before we get to that, make sure you head over to Prize Picks, download the app, and put in the promo code MUD. Let's get to the episode.
Numbers ready for the city! Sign! Randolph! Yes, Randolph with 6/10 of a second!
You show respect, you get respect. You disrespect, you get disrespect.
Evo! This is all hard. Grit, grind.
Hey, kid, I gotta make it, kid. This out the mud, man.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Tony Allen, man. And I'm here with my man Zebo. Zebo, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Got a legend in the building today.
We on the Out the Mud podcast. Today we getting blessed with 10-year veteran, Sasha Vujačić, two-time champion. Supposed to have been a one-time. But his first time on the podcast, man. Much love, man. Thanks for coming up on.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with two legends. Both jerseys retired. Thank you. That's my first spot, so I'm a rookie. Supposed to be 3 rings, but it's only 2 because you guys got one. But let's not talk about it right now, or we can get it started. But seriously, thank you for having me.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Pleasure.
So, man, tell us about growing up in Slovenia.
Yeah, so I was born actually in Yugoslavia.
Word.
It was a country before Slovenia became independent. So not many people know that because you know, in the 90s there was a bad war, and us as kids growing up there, we kind of developed thick skin through that. But in Slovenia was let's say the lightest of all. But now we have 6 countries out of it. Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, Bosnia, Slovenia, Macedonia. So when we leave where we come from, when we come to States, we are all best friends. But back in the day, there was just, I think we were too clustered and we didn't see the bigger picture. So once it broke down, some people were happy, some people were not happy. But you learn, you pave the way, not on the easiest way, to go and understand what those kind of things bring to life, and you start appreciating life on a different aspect.
And you said war, man. So where did the basketball aspect kick in? Because, I mean, while the country going through its frenzy or whatnot, it's like, how do you even have those inspirations to even play the game of basketball?
Well, that's a way out. So I was a kid when it happened in the 90s. I was 7 years old when Yugoslavia kind of started falling apart. But in Slovenia, luckily, we didn't feel as much of it, but you could feel the hate and the hatred with, certain last names that ended on a specific name. So you could say where they come from and stuff. But Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia, especially, we had family all over the world all over ex-Yugoslavia. So listening to their stories, knowing that some of my parents' friends, like best friends growing up with, they were fighting against each other. It was just tough to, kind of comprehend that. But then you learn. And my biggest love from day one was basketball. And like I said, basketball, I played soccer, basketball, volleyball, everything growing up. But basketball was that biggest love. There was just something about basketball that maybe was the way out. Maybe it was something that you imagined of where the happiness or nirvana was finding you. So that's what it was. But like I said, in Slovenia, we didn't feel much of it. It was just, going through tough times like anywhere else in the world. So you had 2 choices: either be about it or feel sorry for yourself and what's going on, or just keep going forward.
Nah, that's really out the mud. It's really out the mud.
No, it is. I mean, and a lot of people think European players, they got it easy, and a lot of y'all survived a lot of hardships and just to get over here to this game to play. And can you explain how you overcome that stereotype?
You all know that we from Europe, we all called soft Europeans and all this stuff, which is not a lie. You know, it might look like that sometimes. The fact of the matter is, we are not biggest fans of playing defense also, so that kind of takes away from it. But it's tough, man. Like, I think that the way, you know, for example, for me, having European basketball mindset and learning what it takes to win here, I got kind of both of them, and I respect them. But we are big on fundamentals back home. Fundamentals and fighting the adversity, fighting the obstacles, finding the way. Never, ever, ever anything came easy to anybody. Like you guys, you know, I listened to your first pod and I was like, first episode, I was like, wow. And once you go through, when the going gets tough and you kind of, wow, I got to find the way out. I got to get to that next level. Then the similar mindsets connect, you know? So that, I think that was the biggest thing for European players, to have a lot of obstacles and fighting, you know, like everybody else. That game of basketball brought us together to fight for one common goal, and that might be to make it in life, to try to do something better.
Who was that? Who was that? Like, to navigate through like what you going through, you know, war. Who put the ball in your hand? Like,
I think so. When I was 2 years old, my parents got divorced, and my stepdad, when he came to my life, I was about 5 to 6 years old. I call him Pops. He did a lot for me from day one. But I think it all comes from kind of family and surroundings. So when I was a kid, like, my biggest joy when I was already, like, my mom always says, it's actually funny. She says, he was already playing basketball in my tummy when I was pregnant and stuff. But there was just something that for me, you know, my late grandfather, who's one of my, you know, biggest idols and heroes, and somebody that I spent a lot of time with, because my parents were both professional volleyball players. So once you have that in your life, they understood what it took to give me the freedom and understanding that, yeah, you have to go to school, you got to do all these things, but you in order to get there, you got to, you know, go A, B, C. There was no skipping things in life and trying to make it easy. So basketball was just my biggest love. So I don't know, love at first sight. So it was just my parents. And then I met a coach when I was about 8 or 9 years old, actually at 7 years old, and started playing against, you know, older guys and stuff like that, and just kind of getting that experience, because I think that's where European players, we actually gain a lot of experience just by playing against, you know, when you're 12, 13 years old, you're already playing against adults in Europe that either made it or didn't make it in Europe, in the NBA. So that's what kind of gives you that mindset of, you know, getting knocked in the face at the age of 12, 13, and then you got to stand up for yourself and not fold. Got to keep going.
Well, which was my next question, to basically say, like, you turned pro at 17. So by you going through that stage, it was like easy for you to adapt. Like,
so when I was 12, I said, we had like a, you know, with my parents and my brother and my sister, we were talking about things, and I said, I want to go to LA and I want to win with the Lakers at 12. And everybody around us, you know, when I said it out loud, they were laughing in my face. And
they thought you was crazy.
Damn, this guy's crazy. He must be, you know, smoking at a young age, like going Lockout.
Off the weed.
I was like, wow. And the funny thing was, like, I just kept going. You know, I would dribble the ball to school in the morning. I would walk to my school, obviously. And I would just put extra work in. If they said, you got to put 1 hour extra work over everybody else, I would put 2 hours. And it was at that age, quantity with quality was everything, right? Then when I was 14, I had to leave my home to go to a town close, like probably 2 hours from where I was born, because they had a little project of academy, what they wanted to do with younger players. And I was there for a year, and I outgrew that, because they were kind of training you to be the best in Europe. But I had a bigger goal, you know, to go to NBA. And at the age of 15, I went to Italy for 2 years. Slovenian Federation, they wouldn't give me it's called letter of clearance to play, to be able to play in another country. But the coach at the time, one of the people that discovered me with my parents, was Bogdan Tanjević. He was one of the greatest coaches, and still is at the time, and the biggest talent. He's from Montenegro, but he was a national team coach in Italy, like won medals there, and was known to discovering talent. So long story short, I was in Italy waiting for 2 years and then turned pro as the youngest foreigner players. Before me was just, I think, Bodiroga, who we all know, gave a lot of troubles to US in the Olympics and World Cup. So that's kind of sums it up before that big jump to the States.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 5 years in Italy before I got drafted by the Lakers. And I was supposed to be in a draft a year before, but then I saw Tony Allen was not there, so I had to, I had to go for 2004 draft because I kind of had a feeling that we would have quite a few battles back.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. 'Cause, I was drafted in 2004.
I know you were. I know.
Take us through that process, bro. Like, how many teams you work out for, and like.
So to take you back right now, like I was in Italy 5 years. I pulled out in 2003 because it was just like, the buyout and all that stuff. Like I started understanding business side of basketball at a young age. Like I got stabbed in the back when I was 15 by somebody that I thought was my agent, mentor, player, with me. So long story short, you learn, right? So 2003 was like, nah, it's not the time yet. Like I got to go to Europe one more year, try to dominate. And then I knew where I wanted to go. So I worked out like you. I was listening when you guys were talking, like I've worked for every single team. Then we went to Chicago. We had I broke my toe in Chicago, actually.
At the pre-draft?
At a pre-draft, I broke my toe. And I was limping when I was not playing, but I couldn't limp on the court because they would be like, oh, these guys, bye. You know how it is. But working out for every team was for me something that is kind of tiring. Coming from Europe, being in Washington, where my agent at the time had a kind of station for Pops and myself. And I was like, wow, we got to go here across the country, just go all over. And, there were a couple of guys in front of me that I would kind of smoke in a workout, but that doesn't matter right now because I wanted to be in LA, which is kind of crazy. Everybody said, you're dumb, man. You should have been first 20. And I said, no. And the draft night I was there. I'm like, no, I know where I want to go. I know where I wanted to be. And besides that, playing with Kobe and being in LA and winning in LA. Like my goal was go to LA and win in LA.
So you pretty much had it figured out in the draft. Your agents had already spoke with the Lakers to kind of put it together.
They were talking. That was one of the biggest interests. There were teams that, I was 19. I think I just turned 20, 19, 20. And a couple of teams had an idea of sending me back to Europe because of the goals they wanted to do, the core of their franchise. To get me more experience and stuff. And I'm like, no, this is the time that I'm staying here. I'm going. And Lakers had a 27th pick and they were trying to trade to get it earlier because, the agents and you as a player, like, wait, they're not completely 100% with you. So you don't know what's going on. But apparently they couldn't trade for a higher pick. And I would just be like, okay, then let's go 27, which for the agent was probably not the best thing. But I wanted to be drafted in first round. I didn't care about being the number. I just wanted to go somewhere where I knew that I can learn and I can actually have an impact and continue my dream.
You was at draft. I was at process.
I was there.
Draft night.
I was there. It was tough, man. It was tough because you kind of have an idea. You don't have a verbal, but you kind of have a verbal. You know how it is. Like you got to be...
think I'm going here and pick come, not going like shit.
Exactly.
They say they like me.
And then you have 5 minutes and then your agent's like, you want to go there? They want to send you to Europe. I'm like, no. Oh, you want to go there building for the future? No. And so I said no to a couple of few teams that probably are still pissed at me, but I can't. So my first goal was then the Lakers came and I was like, damn, what about if they change their mind? So it's kind of crazy, but when they started walking towards you with the hats and everything, I was just like, okay, that's half a dream is realized. Like I'm here. I think I was the happiest kid on the planet. I was like, it just takes you back from where you come from, what you had to go through, and that everything makes sense at the end of the day if you're willing to put the work in and if you choose the right path and you see, you push yourself to go to the next level.
Damn, well, nothing given.
No, nothing.
It's all last.
Nothing, never given.
Yeah, nothing given.
No. That's why I'm stubborn. Yeah, exactly.
Out the mud for sure.
Deep mud.
Tell us about that process in meeting Phil Jackson, legendary coach, the late, great Kobe Bryant, and Jeannie bust. What was your impressions on all that?
So my rookie year, Rudy T took over the team because the Lakers just lost against Detroit, and PJ was not there. He was one of the reasons that I wanted to go to the Lakers.
Okay.
Like when you get a agent and they give you like this Q&A, and then who would you like to meet, like to kind of get to know you better, and the team says, I always said I want to meet Phil Jackson, like what he did with Chicago and then with the Lakers. It's just kind of incredible. But I got here and played the whole preseason. Everything went well. And then a day before season started, Rudy T calls me aside and he says, hey, I brought my player from Houston here. I was supposed to back up, 2 positions and just kind of get 10, 15 minutes, like just to kind of get a feel for it. And
Who was this guy?
Rudy T, Vujačić, coach. He was our coach in 2004.
But I'm saying who he brought in.
I don't want to even say it. It doesn't really matter. You do the research, bro. If I said it, I'm gonna be embarrassed, bro. So it doesn't matter. No, I can't say that right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, don't even go out there and Google
Sasha,
that thing.
Man.
Don't even go there and Google that thing.
We got Google that, guys.
Oh man.
Don't tell you.
So anyhow, he said, he played for me before. You're young. You're coming from Europe. I think we're gonna have a better chance. And I was like, I was not even in the locker room. I already called my agent. And my agent was, Kobe's agent, also Rapidfire. So I'm like, you go crazy, like, they're like, calm down, you might not be his plan, but you're in the plan of the franchise. And then Kobe called me. Kobe was kind of calming me down. I was like, this is crazy. And funny fact, one of the teams that I was supposed to go to was Boston. Because Danny Ainge, and I had a good workout there, and I was like, damn, do I just kill my dream and just pull the trigger? But it was just kind of, that crazy stuff, and that was all happening. Like, people don't know what happens behind the scenes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to work out, and I'm going to prove them wrong. Then he got, I think, fired after 2 months. Something happened. With all due respect, like, good man, I don't know him, but I didn't like him at all. I wanted to fucking... And where I come from, man, you cross me, we're gonna have problems.
Look, we didn't all head coaches.
So you
like
know
that.
exactly what I'm talking about.
It's love, but hey, man,
yeah,
from a distance, man.
So I was like, damn, this guy just outplayed me. Like, anyhow, so I was like, just playing that year at the end of the season more because Frank Hamlin took over, and they were like, oh, Philly's probably PJ's coming back next year, so let's just play whoever's gonna stay with us and stuff. But my first time meeting Kobe was just, kind of automatic connection. He knew I was coming to the team, and we kind of broke it down in 10 seconds in Italian, and that was like kind of breaking every barrier and the iceberg, and we started talking. And then he didn't need much time. He already had Loyola Marymount when we were Loyola in San Diego. We were at training camp. And you know me, you know how I played. You guys hated, like, you probably hated me because I'm just all in. I was crazy. And
No,
Kobe saw that.
You definitely
was. I didn't care if I was like.
Hey, Sasha, look, I used to be like, who is this motherfucker think he's so tough coming from Italy? I was like, this motherfucker didn't start cursing you out in Slovenian language. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, he think he tough. But you was. And I'm talking about every time, I always thought you had an attitude or something.
Yeah.
Was that chip on your shoulder always?
I always said all my life, like, I was just, when I got on the basketball court, I was a different person. We can be cool and everything, but I just want to win. I want to find the way. And Kobe being my big brother and still is, he's with us, and Gigi also. That's why every kind of basketball thing I do, I make sure that exactly they're with us. Like, when you want to ask yourself a question, and Kobe's with us, look at your phone and you see 8 and 24, he's there. And then 18, my number sometimes. So anyhow, long story short, Kobe was like, all right, I can play with you. And we just kind of connected. And he knew he could count on me. And that was his biggest thing. Nobody liked Kobe, let's be honest. Like, everybody was jealous, hated him because he was different, because he wanted to get to that level. And once I had that, I knew that, I had to stay. And then meeting Jeannie for the first time, being in a family business, it's not always easy. But when, I met everybody, Dr. Buzz, then I met Jeannie. I remember it was in the old El Segundo facility, and it was just like, wow, I'm really here. Like that made me like realize like, and she was always the nicest, and people don't realize that, you know, being the only female sports owner in, you know, in one of the best franchises.
Yeah, for sure.
I know
Shout out Jeannie Buss.
100%. She's my big sis. So, you know, I think we have the best franchise. Boston might be number 2. You never know. But it's okay.
That might be our debate.
I knew I'm opening the
Slow
debate
down,
right
man.
here. But that's the beauty of it. But, you know, meeting her, and people don't really realize how, you know, for 45 years now, she's been there with Linda Rambis, who's, you know, also very uptight. It's like, if you guys watch Godfather, one of my favorite movies, you got, you know, the Godfather and Consigliere, that's who they are. And Jeannie was just, since day one, they've welcomed me to the family, and I'm grateful for that. So it's not easy, you know, going through our ups and downs, especially breaking our hearts in 2008. But that's okay. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm jumping ahead.
We definitely gonna get there.
I just want to get over 2008 though, because I know that's coming. I know that's coming.
No, but I just want to know before we get to that, talk about some, you know, everybody says Kobe got this work ethic. You know, he get up 5 in the morning. He in full sweats, 2 workouts before you even come to the gym.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me that part of his workouts, and how was it in practice with you? Because I saw a few clips, and I saw y'all used to have some competitive rap.
So he probably got up at like 4 o'clock because he was in the gym at 5. I got to the gym at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, Kobe, like, I'm the rookie. I got to prove myself. I got to do this. I got to play this. I can't play defense, all this stuff. So you just lock yourself in the gym and just kind of go at it. But then when you see Kobe, you're like, wow, he's a franchise player. He already won, and he wants to keep going. With Kobe was that, you know, obsession of being the greatest. I think he achieved to do that because there was never enough. And there was just that extra mile he wanted to take. And that's why everybody's talking about Mamba mentality. Everybody can find that Mamba mentality within themselves. It's the hero within you. Right. But are you willing to do that? Not many will. Everybody wants to go like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit extra work. I'm going to, you know, they kind of calculate it. But Kobe's obsession with studying the film, understanding the opponent, the footwork, like going deep into the system, into triangle, like trying to understand every single aspect of it. It's not only outworking you on the basketball court. He's like mentally outworking you by just, you know, putting a smile here, like looking at you weird, like I smell blood right now. Like he gets into your psyche. And once that happened, we knew we were golden. He was our leader. He was somebody that you either could follow or you fall behind and you're gone. So there were not many that could follow that pace, that intensity. And like you said, it was we had fights. Our workouts, our practices were like fist fights, basically. Respectful fist fights, which means when we came to a game, we were like, oh, that's easy. Honestly, because once you get into that system mindset of understanding defense, offense, the balance of rebounds, and just kind of seeing, then you cover for your teammates. So there were no like fast breaks at our practices. They were tough. Like you were lucky if you got a fast break because we all knew where we wanted to go. And the way it was scouted, you know, having one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest, in my opinion, as our teacher, coach, leader, ultimate leader. And it was just like, oh, they know what they're doing. We better follow. We better go with it. We better understand that.
He motivated.
Exactly.
Man.
Oh, it's incredible. Like PJ would walk in the room in the gym. We would play, you know, summer pickup or whatever. It was loud, like everybody yelling. He walks in, silence, like silence.
Just had that
like,
aura.
Like something just happened. Like we are on another level. Like we went from level 2 to like 5, and there are 2 more. So we better play really hard. So he's happy about that. It was just something that I've never seen before in my life.
Icon.
Yeah.
I can just imagine when y'all travel. You know how you travel, you get on the bus, get off on the hotel, Kobe, go. Y'all was like the Beatles riding with Kobe.
No, Kobe was like, he helped me so much. Just being a young kid from Europe and understanding, like I said, we connected through the basketball mindset of trying to be the best and give the best to a game of basketball and playing the right way, which was the most important thing for us. But he would show me how to actually study the game, how to see the little things on the basketball court, like from the footwork, from the mimics of certain players, what they don't like to do. Then in the playoffs later on, I would study specific players I would have to play against, and just became pesky on defense and annoying because of it, because I would go into that different persona kind of thing that connected and annoyed everybody. So that's why we didn't like each other until today.
It's almost playoff time, and y'all already know who we rocking with. Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app. Prize Picks, here for you to make picks all playoffs long. It's simple, either pick more or pick less. And y'all already know, it's a skill-based game, so it's on you. And you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So don't be the one to miss out. With over 10 million active users, so head over to Prize Picks. Use the promo code MUD, and you'll get $50 instantly after you play with your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks got you guys with Flex Play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Not to mention, they make payments as easy with Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, quick and easy deposits. You don't want to miss out on a chance to cash out with the NBA playoffs here and the baseball season here. You guys already know what to do. Go to Prize Picks, download the app, use promo code MUD, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Another thing, look, do you think the triangle offense could work in today's game?
100%.
Yeah.
100%, but it's not about triangle offense or not. Like if you look at the NBA today, everybody's playing the same exact way, and it's becoming annoying. The product, I had a good conversation with someone, I'm not gonna name them, but they said, oh, the players are running the show right now, they're getting paid too much.
Yeah, I heard
you know
that.
what? That can be the case. We can argue that, arguably, but back in the day, MJ said the perfect quote. I don't know if I'm gonna quote him perfectly right now, but he said, we are making a big mistake by the time that we're going to be out of the league, the OGs and stuff. We are paying for the potential. We're not paying for the merit of what they are doing. So once you do that, once you get too comfortable, yeah, a lot of people are overpaid, but God bless, like I always said, any player that gets overpaid, like you don't know their background, like let them get as much money. And
That's right.
But the problem with that is if you don't have the right coaches, the right mindsets, people that won before, if you don't have people that actually understand basketball or were there before them, just playing politics and, going from one team to another and just exchanging, this big circle, you're not going to teach them anything. The reason why we were so successful is because we were different than anybody else. There's no system that it's even close to the one we had. But what you need someone to teach that system properly, and you need a player like Kobe, somebody that's a franchise player that's, I always said, MJ and Kobe, two GOATs forever. Right. So if you have that as players like Zibo, like I guarantee you, if you would have somebody like Kobe, if you would play with us and you're like scoring 30 in Memphis and killing it, and with your big booty on that pinch post and low post, bro. I remember you were that guy was being double teamed, like triple teamed, like I kid you not. I was like, he annoyed everybody, but nobody could guard him one-on-one. He was just that good. If you would have been with someone like that could actually explain it to you, give it to you, even in the middle of your career, you would adjust because you would understand what it means to be on the basketball court and playing the right way. Like there are very few teams right now that are playing the right way. So when you ask me, I think the right way playing basketball, forget it, might be called triangle, might be called something else, like just playing the right way. And when you allow players and everybody to get too comfortable, they're not going to play the right way. Players always run the league, always since the beginning. Like players were the important ones, but at least they had people there that they kind of trusted. Okay, if I want to win, I actually better have a good coach, the coach that has been there, won, lost, and wants to give me something, not just to survive, but to actually go on a marathon with me to help me win a championship. But then again, if that player doesn't want a championship, if he wants just for his individual brand to grow on and off the court, so you got to find
that
killers.
Part right there,
so you got to find killers.
That's what today's game is. It's all like my brand. You know what I'm saying? How can I build my brand? That's kind of how you don't see it. That's why you ain't seen no back-to-back championships lately.
There's no dynasties, but I love it because you understand that you play for a great franchise, and winning back-to-back, there's nothing like it. And I'm not taking your 2008 away. You guys won, but I was always told by the greats, you got to confirm it. If you win, you got to confirm it.
You gotta stand on it.
That's why for me, in watching now, there are no back-to-backs. There are no like three-peats. Like Golden State was the only team that had a chance, but they still had to bring players, But for my mindset is like, so I got out of the basketball to understand what's going on, because when you're in it for too long, you just blindfolded, and you might be able to do the same exact thing. So watching it from outside, I was just like, wow, there's so much potential. Like players are so good right now. There's so much talent.
Talent, crazy.
The fundamentals might not be at the highest level, but that's all fault of the youth basketball, because the way you get the players, the way he's talented. Okay, and like I was talking to someone, they're like, if you want to meet a player right now that's actually talented, you got to pay a certain amount to actually have a meeting with them. I'm like, wait, what? What?
Cash out,
the young
man.
players, you got to actually, to have a meeting with parents and the agent, you got to, make sure that you can afford it. I'm like, that can be it though. But even though with all that, there's a lot of potential, like a lot of potential. Unfortunately, it's not being, it's not being there right now. It's not being taken to the next level. But I think basketball has incredible potential. It just takes one or two to make it right.
Yeah, get some great talents, like you said. I wanted to ask you, Sasha, describe the culture shock, like coming from Europe to come to like one of the biggest markets in the world. Like, how was that?
It was a shock.
It's like like TA said, like the Beatles, like a rock star group, right?
Like Slovenia has 2 million people, and being here, but I was lucky because I went through Italy, and in Italy, being there, you kind of have to speak like Italian, you have to speak Slovenian, English, and Serbian then. And then you come here and you're like, wow. But I don't blame people that come to LA and they lose track of what they came here for, especially athletes. I can't blame them. It's incredible. Like you're a 20-year-old and you go, after the games, you can go party to any celebrity or any house and just private parties and stuff like that. But that was a choice for me. When I first got here, my parents, my brother and my sister, they came with me. And that had a big role for me. That played a huge role for me. Definitely. Without their support, I always say I would never be able to be where I'm at.
Shout out to mom and pops.
100%.
Sure.
100%. So that was big. And while we were in Italy in those 5 years, another dream was born. If everything goes well, that we would like to have a family winery, because Pops fell in love with the wines. Italian wines are really good.
Yeah.
And then when they came here, first one when they kind of took away from us, but that's okay. That's not a conversation we can have now. It's not going to be that friendly. No, but when you guys won that championship in 2008, you understand, I didn't wear green for a year.
Oh, shit.
And that
was actually my next question. How did the 2008 championship affect you? Or did it motivate you into going into the next year? Because y'all actually won back-to-back. So explain that year, 2008.
So my first year that I was on the bench and they said Sasha is girl's name, in the crowd. I think that was 2006 when we played Phoenix in the playoffs and we had a lead 3-1, we lost. That's officially when Kobe said, officially welcome to NBA. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they finally have a sign about your name and now you're in NBA. I was like, wow. I was like, wow.
Wait a minute, is this the same series Kobe was supposed to win MVP? He didn't get it because of that?
Yes.
Oh, man. He stopped passing in the final. Like, y'all remember this?
So, yeah. But what happened was, like, to go back to Zibo's question and then following with yours, cultural shock, but I was locked in that gym. That's how I got the nickname. That's how they said, like, he's a gym rat, because I knew that I was not the strongest, but the way I can, get to it, I got to work really hard. And my shot is okay, got to be better. But I want to be like the guy that can give Kobe minutes at the end of the game to play defense. So a lot of times, like, I would not start games ever. I didn't care, but I wanted to finish games. And that was the thing.
That's where it counts.
So so either you go Hollywood or you go in the gym and you're like, what else can I work on? Because if you want,
say Hollywood.
I mean, it's one way to another, way or another. Like, that's the way it is. So if you're obsessed with basketball and if you love it, you will always find something to work. Like you got to find something. There's some things that, it's details, but it's got to be like the craft's got to be perfect, and it's never perfect. So for me, going there was just like, okay, I'm locked in. I don't see the noise. There was a lot of noise in LA, and you can get lost. But then when we got to the finals, I think that's the year that we played the best basketball. We just played the right way. We unfortunately didn't have Andrew Bynum. People forget about that. Like Andrew for us was huge.
Big.
On both ends of the court. And when we lost, it was heartbreaking. A few of us really cried like crazy. We had I think it was game 4, when we had a 26 or 27 point lead at the halftime. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys came back.
Ray Allen hit all them 3.
Yes, you guys came back out of nowhere.
Yeah,
thanks
shout
for
out to Ray Allen.
reminding
We
me.
appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, but you guys, I think you guys were ready that year. We were just young and not experienced enough. And we didn't understand the magnitude of being in the finals. Like, not everybody did. But once you take away somebody like Andrew, who was basically a rim protector, like being on
Definitely a presence.
it was big. And I didn't wear green for a year. I think
no
few
green.
of us didn't. Few of us didn't.
Traumatized you, bro.
Bro, I was all in. Like purple and gold was that, but that's what the Showtime did for us. Like when you watch old tapes and you see that rivalry that kind of brought NBA also to the next level. Then in Chicago, but Detroit before. But then I think the biggest rivalry is Boston, LA. So we lived that.
believe.
So that's family. Like Lakers are my family, and I was like, I hate them. you don't hate anybody. You got to be, it's a strong word, but green. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's in the air. It's definitely in the air.
Yeah. Like right now, we good. Like we get along and everything because we got the last laugh. But we're not. We're gonna talk about that later. But 2008 was tough. 2008 was really, really tough. You guys actually
Out the mud. Sasha Vujačić, everybody. Yeah, he talk shit. Like it's coming out.
I'll tell you, somebody, you mentioned him before. Ray had that crossover on me to kind of close the game. And I took it very personally. I was like, ooh, it was misunderstanding on defense. I was trying to send him one way. And anyhow, that kept playing in my mind for the entire summer. So I would go, I was like, okay, defense is where I want to focus right now, and I would be locked in. And 5 a.m. workouts were just helping me, maybe with confidence, maybe with something. But I just wanted to get better because we were not good enough to be champions. And if everything done until now, we don't win, the entire career until now, my career actually from personal point of view was nothing. Right. Like that's how I saw it. So I was like, okay, it's not going to be nothing. Let's go.
And it be like that. I ain't gonna lie. When you taste that much success and you get all the way to the promised land, it's like, damn, I gotta get back there. And I was hearing reports that a lot of you guys didn't even take most guys take a month off. It's like some of you guys took 2-3 days off and was back in the gym, and it fueled you guys to actually win the championship the next year.
That gave us, to be honest with you, that gave us that reminder in game 7 when we were going back to back. We were playing horrible basketball, not horrible, but we just couldn't make a shot. The emotions were there, but losing in 08, we swore within ourselves and with everybody around us, we will never feel like that ever again, because we felt like shit, man. It was bad. And then that game 7, we didn't win because of tactics. There was one game that everybody stepped up and the heart prevailed. Playing at home, knowing how we felt in 08 when you guys destroyed us by 30 or something like that, game 6, it was bad. It was not nice. But then we were like, wow, we got to win. So it didn't matter if you played 10, 15, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You knew that your number at some point in that game is going to be called, you're going to be called upon.
You got to be a star on that road.
Exactly. That's what happened.
Got to be ready.
And everybody kind of, put their hand in, and then when you put the pieces of the puzzle together and the puzzle is really strong, it's not going to break.
But it seemed crazy because in 2009 it was like the Magics they had a squad. They had Shaw Lewis,
Keto
Turkoglu, Dwight, Jameer.
They had a squad.
If Courtney Lee don't miss that layup,
Nah, man.
It go another way.
Nah.
Shout out Courtney Lee.
C.
He
Lee.
smoked it, but
I like C. Lee. I like
my
C.
boy
Lee.
C. Lee, man.
that's my boy though. No, you know that's
Indiana
my brother.
Hoosier,
Yin and
man.
yang.
No, listen, C. Lee.
But I'm saying he
C.
made
Lee,
that layup.
I love you, bro. We played together. We played together in New York. You know, we had a conversation about that, but no way, bro. That was our year. That was our year.
That was y'all year.
Impossible. Impossible. That was our year. No, but that tells you the matchups are really important also, right? But we knew that was our run. We were there. But I got a funny story about Hiro in that year. But whenever you want to get to it, you might like it.
So look, in 2008, I know you speak highly on Andrew Bynum
Yeah,
not being there,
100%.
right?
I know where this is
So
going.
now
But
in
not even close.
2010,
Not even close. No,
so
you
now
can't
in
compare to players
2010,
like that.
No, listen. If
Come on, bro.
If we got Big Perk,
Nah.
because you know he hurt himself
Nah.
tennis ACL.
Nah.
Shout out
Nah.
Big Perk.
Nah.
He tore his ACL and he was playing great defense on.
You guys have Sheed.
On
Sheed was
Powell
there. Are you
and
kidding me?
KP's playing D. Yeah.
How many you
but
need?
she was not our big
Nah.
scorer. He wasn't our big defender at the time. He was our big scorer. So like he stretched the floor. You know what I'm saying? He made the right plays, set the right picks, and got open for the pick and pop. He actually played 3-point line to 3-point line, if you ask me. But he was a dominant force for us.
Yeah.
But my thing is, do you feel like y'all really would have won if we'd have had Perk? That's my question.
You guys added another weapon with Wallace. Like she was that weapon that you guys didn't have before. You remember that? And losing one weapon that was not scoring weapon, it might have been on defense. Like he actually messed up my shoulder though. Like coming off the pick, I still have like a bone over here
shot you one,
sticking
huh?
out. I was supposed
Mr. He, what
to.
up?
I was supposed to have a surgery, but that's okay. No, I honestly think that us losing against you in 2008, there
Feel
was
that.
basketball gods kind of online, and they said because the work that we really put in and the way we won it, and you know bringing Ron at the time to be with us that 2010 because Ron came
Shout out Ron Artest.
instead of Trev, and yeah, Ron's like that's one of my favorite teammates, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, come on, man. Describe Ron, man. What it was like? Because he
Out
get
the
the
mud,
stereotype that he's just some crazy guy, but I know
he's
deep down
crazy,
inside
but in a
that
good way.
He got a heart, and
Great guy.
he's also a good teammate. Just explain it.
So Ron, he's like one of my favorite teammates of all time. Just when he came to us, we knew exactly what we were getting because he was in Houston before, and we were just going at each other. Like him and Kobe, oh my God. I was like, oof, I love it. I love it. I love it. And,
love it.
and Ron thinking that he can actually stop Kobe was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that. That's my
Yeah,
guy.
no, that's your guy.
But when he got there, like there was a stretch when I didn't play a couple of games, just because Phil was so instrumental to play mind games with players that he wanted to make stronger mentally. Like there were games I would play like 30 seconds and out. One mistake. But he was trying to teach you, like when it comes to him, he was a coach, but he was a teacher. So everybody that he counted on, he would just poke a little bit throughout the season. But then Ron came up to me and he said many times, he was like, yo, bro, you can hoop, man. Just go play. There were some players playing on different teams. He's like, just go. You're going to score 20 points a game. You're going to get paid. Just get paid, man. You already have a ring, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Ron, there's not one ring. It's 2 rings. It's got to be back to back. But having him every practice, like he was on defense, he was beast. Like when he puts the hand down, you can have a freaking train coming through that hand. It's not going to go. And back then, there was not like, like foul. It was actually, when you get fouled, it was like a real foul, right? And Ron bringing that defensive toughness and understanding of how he can fit in was big for us because he could have gone to LA and be like, okay, I'm going to just, try to get my numbers up and everybody's going to be happy. He came with understanding, and it takes a big person, it takes a big player to understand that I'm going to give up a lot in order to fit in and give them and win together. And he truly made us, like, helped us with that 3-point shot in the game 7. That's why I say,
Big shot.
I can't front. I ain't gonna lie. I ask Paul this every time. I say, why you just didn't run him off the line? Right?
Yeah.
And Paul always tell me, no, that was part of the scout report. Just close out.
KYP, know your personnel. You're like, no, I don't have to let him shoot the ball.
Run him off. But speaking about that game, bro, you hit 2 big ass free throws too. And truthfully told, I thought you was gonna clank at least one of them motherfuckers.
Can't do.
Man, you clutched them shits.
Can't do.
What was going through your mind at the time, though?
So, as a kid, I always dreamt of the moment to decide a game on a free throw line all my life. And the way since I was 14 probably, I would not leave the gym if I didn't score 10 free throws in a row, eyes open, and 10 eyes closed. So that was my routine, right? And Phil knew that, coaching staff knew that, everybody knew that. Ron was actually in the game before they called timeout. He just made a 3-point shot. Ron runs to Phil, and he's like, put Sasha in, take Sasha, take me out. He wanted to go out. So that tells you about a teammate. So that tells you like, okay, we knew you guys gonna foul. You guys just made 2 3-point shots out of nowhere. Like, come on, man. Let's be honest. Like talking about the KYP Rondo from the corner, and then, it was just crazy from the rebound. So Ron said that, but Phil already wrote a play, and I was in the play. He just looked at him because you remember Game 7, like everybody was like hyped. It was crazy. And he turns the board around, and it's like the play for me. And at that point, I was like, okay, perfect. That's the moment I was waiting for. That's why I'm here. That's gonna all make sense at the end of the day.
Bro, you gained trust in Phil. That's big,
it was
bro.
Phil, Kobe, all my teammates. It was all my teammates. And, Kobe was the first one, my rookie year. And then Phil came, and Phil saw that. That's why I was probably, if you check, like from the period that Phil came to us till the last championship, he would play me 30 seconds or 45 seconds games just to teach me, just to make a point. But he wouldn't do that if he wouldn't count on me at some point in the career. And then going to the free throw line, I was like, this is it. This is the moment I was waiting for. And a friend of mine, we were having dinner like a few months ago, and he said, you don't understand. Like, if I ask you now, give me 10 finals in the past few years, who played or who won, you're not going to remember. But I'm telling you, Boston Celtics Game 7, everybody knows who made those free throws. And I was like, damn.
Yes, for sure.
So that's like, to me, was like, wow, it's monumental in a way, but it's because my teammates, coaches, and everybody trusted that I was the one that had to just give a little bit of a hand.
You was a piece of the puzzle, and it was Boston. Being that it was Boston too, so it had that meaning a
Not
little
being green for a year made sense.
That's
at
what
that
I'm
point.
saying. It made full circle.
Yeah,
made it sweet.
It did. Yeah. So you know how when your number is called, you either are there for it, but that goes all to the work that you've done when nobody was watching, or you can't get lucky at that point, right? If you miss a free throw, or if you miss a shot, or if you don't, everybody says, oh, there's some guys, great guys, they didn't win the ring. Yeah, but they probably didn't put that extra work that somebody else did. So at that point, all the hard work and everything we believed we should achieve made sense.
Paid off for sure. Meanwhile, after playing all those seasons with the Lakers, I know it probably got a little emotional, but talk to us about having to leave the Lakers and end up eventually being with the Nets that season.
Yeah, so when you play for the team like you played and I played, and also Zibo is, that big booty. Every time I see you, I remember everybody was complaining. You can't guard that guy, man. They're like that big. Yeah, I'm being nice, but saying that. But I'm like, bro, you crazy, man. Like, how can this guy score so many points and you double team, and he just can't. He was, I kind of can give you a nickname for a little bit. You were scoring machine for a moment, but I'm gonna keep my nickname here. No, anyhow.
Dig that.
So when I left, I think we were already sad that Phil would not stay, that the team would, kind of go different direction. And I was not getting minutes that I thought I should at that time in my career. I was 26 years old. I wanted to play. And once you want to play, you're like, once you win, you're like, come on, I want to play. I know, and I didn't play as much. So talking to RP at the time, I don't know, like, are we going for another championship or not? But I need to leave. So I was kind of mentally prepared because the game of basketball, that's the biggest love to me and the best, where I feel the best. And I thought I was just wasting time at the time, that there was too much work to it that I was putting in. And then when I left, I went to Jersey and kind of second breath. It was great. It was amazing. Then the lockout happened. And then, long story short, I went to Europe and all that stuff. But once you play at that level and you know that, once you compete for championships, once you play for PJ with Kobe, it's really, really hard to find that competitive spirit and carry it on and find it in other people and then connect on that level. So in a lot of teams I played on, this like, this guy's crazy. He wants to win too much. I'm like,
and it's almost
That's
like
where you come from.
Yeah, it's almost like okay, when you get to certain, ball clubs where everybody want to be a piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean? I had that in Memphis. I had that in Boston. You know what I'm saying? And when I got to New Orleans, I didn't see that for everybody. I didn't see everybody want to be a key piece to the puzzle. You had certain guys just had their own agendas. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get to programs like that, it's like, damn, you kind of appreciate where you came from. And it's like, it's hard to, duplicate. But, man, I definitely got to give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying? You definitely put in that work in L.A. and hitting those shots and just, I'm coming from where you come from as a whole, bro. Man, up until when, not too many people could say they back-to-back champions. And you are definitely that champ. So
coming
big
from you
salute
guys,
to that.
man, like,
I'm the best to ever do it, man.
appreciate
Big salute
that.
to that.
Coming from you guys, like, it's funny because, on the basketball court, you kind of hate each other, you want to go at each other and everything, but you guys understand how much work you have to put in. And where you guys are today, like, flowers are given back because congratulations. It takes a special kind of mindset to get out of the mud, right? So you guys are, I'm really happy that this is my first one and that we are rocking it here.
No, I mean, we ain't done. We still got some more to talk about. But I just want to let you know. Listen,
I appreciate it.
I was going to give you a flowers, man, interview, but
That light's hot, by the way.
Man,
So that's okay. I'm like,
Yo,
I watched it. I'm like, why is Debo holding that
Man,
towel?
I keep it tired. They call me, they say this the preacher sweat. You know what I mean? In church on Sunday.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh,
They got
dang.
me.
preacher sweat rag.
They say my folks say they got,
Put it
you
on
got
a
this sweat
t-shirt.
rag, boy.
I'm straight, bro. But listen, so now, you the lockout come and you spend time overseas. And what motivated you to just come back? Because you eventually came back. And talk about your experience in going back and going through that process.
Yeah, there was a lockout happen, and I was told by someone really close to me in the organization of players that it's going to be for more than a few months, right? So I'm not going to say anything right now, but I got kind of screwed a little bit on purpose because it was like a month or two, right? And then the league came back. I'm like, is it going to be more than 4 or 5 months? Yes, for sure. I'm like, okay, I better go to Europe because I was getting offers from Europe and I just wanted to play. At that point, I wanted to play basketball. I went to Nets and I was like, wow, I can still play the way I want to play. I just got to be connected with the right teammates and then we'll get something. So I wanted to go to Europe to win a European championship because I never won in Europe at that time. And I went to Efes Pilsen, which was in Turkey, in Istanbul, and signed 1+1. Yeah.
In Turkey?
And funny enough, one of the teams that I was supposed to go back when the lockout stopped was your team, Memphis. You in Memphis there.
Wow.
I kid you not.
We could have had
I
Sasha
kid you not. I can talk about that right now. But I was supposed to come back, and you guys were, planning to make that run and everything. And I was really, really close, but some parts of my contract in Turkish there, I couldn't leave during the season. So it was kind of, dilemma.
Tricky situation.
It was tricky situation, but that was one of my okay, then at the end of the year, I was like, okay, what are we doing right now? And I had to go back again. And then I was just in Europe for a little bit, trying to figure it out. And then Phil took over New York. And all I wanted to do is just win just one more. I wanted 3 so bad. Then coming back to New York, it wasn't easy because there were a couple of teams that were going for playoff runs in those 2-3 years. And you wait and they're trying to trade a player before the trade deadline and you practice and you work alone and you wake up solo. There's no team around you. You just, my brother actually helped me big time because he would come with me. And then finding trainers during the season when nobody's here, it was just not the easiest. So, but you keep going, you keep. So I kept going.
Yeah, shout out to bro, kept pushing you.
Yeah. That's my best friend. He's 9 years younger, but he's killing it though.
Yeah.
So the thing was when Phil took over, it was like I need to go, and New York's gonna make a team, and then we had a great team. Actually, we were just unlucky with the coaching and unlucky. Let's put it this way.
Man, but even still though, as an NBA player, like getting a chance to play in two of the biggest markets.
Yeah.
I mean, that had to be a great experience. Can you explain playing in New York and LA? Just
cold.
People
That
say
weather.
people.
Oh yeah, you played in New York too.
Yeah.
LA, New York.
Yeah, in
boy,
Terrytown practice facility. Then being it's tough. So
take you an hour and a half, get to the garden. You stay in Westchester.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was tough, right?
Yeah, it's very tough.
It was different than LA for sure.
Very different. I played with the Clippers. Very different.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So for me, it was I was living my first year there in White Plains, and
I stayed.
the most depressing. Maybe it was the year. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the White Plains. Well, it was nothing
man,
to
it's
do, but it
horrible.
was the weather that year. I was like depression mode to perfection. I didn't know what the hell to do, and but we were, Phil had a plan there. But one of the things that I think Phil learned there later on is what Jeannie told him when he left. Like, whenever you take over, you gotta have a clean house. Because if you don't clean the house, then you're gonna get backstabbed. And then there's gonna be like, things and chapters and everything. So long story short, I was really excited about New York. It didn't work out the way we thought it would. Then the second year I lived like 10 blocks from the garden, and I would walk to the games. I learned my lesson. And it was just different. It was disappointing because there was so much potential, like having Joakim, Noah, KP, young KP, CLE also. We were great pieces to be put together, but not guided the way we were supposed to be guided. So that was frustrating, really frustrating. And then when Phil left, I was like, I gotta go to Europe and win one more. Like, I was just like, I gotta win something. So kind of full circle, like everything else in life. I signed in Torino, which was first capital of Italy, and they had a basketball team. Great basketball players went through Torino, but they never won like in the past 30 years. And I did the dumbest thing on the planet, man. I was like, when I signed with them, I said, we got 3 to win. Italian Championship, Italian Cup, and Euro Cup. So I promise you, already, that's a dumb thing. I promise you we're going to win one. When I landed in Italy, that's why I said, first 2 months, playing incredible, everybody's happy. First bad game, we can't win, that mofo. Like,
turned on you.
That, like, I was the enemy of the state. Yeah, it was tough. And then the teammates, when you go back to Europe, the teammates that are now in Europe, they never played in NBA, so they kind of jealous. The jealousy when somebody doesn't want to pass you the ball, and it's just like crazy in our craft how that happens, and people don't really see it, and how is everything about the rhythm and getting there and understanding. And then, long story short, we won Italian Cup. Luckily or not luckily, I had the last second shot to kind of win it, and I'm like, never again, man. This is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, but I learned my lesson. Never promise, over-deliver. Just don't promise. Do whatever. And that was learning experience towards the end of my career to kind of be like, wow, every day we're still learning. Every day, every year, there's a learning chapter to be done at the end of the journey.
It's time for some picks with First Team, AKA the Grandfather. You guys already know what to do. Head over to Prize Picks, download the app, and use promo code MUD. You get $50 instantly if you play with as little as $5. Remember now, this is a skill-based game. You either pick more or less. Now let's get to my picks. So first game of the week, we got Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers. First game of the week, Mavericks and Lakers. Luka return. So you already know I'm going more points and rebounds. He's returning back home. It's up. Next 2 picks, I'm going with San Antonio going to the Warriors. We're going to pick Jimmy more in rebounds and more in assists. He always getting it done. My last 2 picks, I'm going Denver and Memphis. Memphis going into Denver. Playoff implications is involved. You know, seeding is everything. So I got Jaren Jackson, more in points and more in rebounds. And those are your picks with the grandfather. So make sure you guys go to Prize Picks, download the app, use the promo code MUD. Now let's get back to the episode.
We talk about, you know, a lot of, you know, how the game is evolving in our league today. Obviously, our fraternity, we from the NBA family. They say the Euro players are catching up with the Americans. How do you see that little argument going on right now? Is the European game that caught up with the American game? You know, it's been our game for a while now, Sasha. But you got your top 5 players who would, a lot of people argue to say, Giannis, Jokic, Shea, Luka. Who else? Embiid.
Embiid, yeah. He's got to get healthy, man.
Wemby.
I feel bad for him.
Wemby.
Yeah, so I'm saying, how do you feel with that comment that's going out?
I think the game becoming global is advantage for everybody. You know, there's never going to be the dream team like back in the day, but everybody's catching up one step at a time. For us, speaking for, you know, even for Giannis, because he comes from Greek school of basketball, fundamentals are everything. Understanding the game of basketball, not seeing yourself as an individual on the team, but understanding the concept of how can I bring the best out of Zebo? How can I bring the best out of, or you guys bring the best out of me? That's what they teach you at a young age. And that's the X's and O's. You can put them aside, but you need to know fundamentals. You got to respect the game in order to be respected. And I think that's what us coming from Europe are doing better at the moment. We're just playing the right way. And it opens up the path towards bigger things in life. One thing you mentioning Giannis, you know, I think Giannis also helped a lot with loyalty when he chose Milwaukee back in the day. He could have picked any team. He could have been another super team and going there. But when they won the championship and when he was free agent, he said, no, I'm staying in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's my, and so I was like, wow. And I told him that, like, he's a friend. I played with his brother in New York. He changed the narrative of how to see the game again. So he brought that back. Jokic winning it also helped us at that time because everybody was like, where can I jump on which team can I go to win? So I think they brought back that loyalty to the team and understanding of, no, we got to do it the tough way, the way that it's supposed to be done. And now having Luka here, you know, we can dream again of, you know, 10 years ahead, God willing. But it's all about playing the right way. Sometimes from the path, the game will go, you know, like this, bad, good. But if you play the game the right way, and like anything else in life, you do the right thing, it might take a little longer, but it's going to bring you to the point that you can only dream of, that you can be on. But I think the U.S. still, you know, you saw the games in Europe this year in France. It was insane, like the Olympics. Serbia was 1 or 2 possessions away from surprising it. But it's not about, it's just because they played the right way. And they understanding your roles and being on a championship team, you need to know your roles, and you just can't take anything for granted anymore. Game is evolving. It's insane.
Yes, for sure, definitely.
And the ones that are dominating are the ones with the most fundamentals. If you look at it, like, it's just the way it is. So if you don't work on your craft, if you don't work on your fundamentals, you're not going to last long because there's going to be somebody else that's going to come.
It's a long line.
What do you guys think? Why is... are the Europeans after all of you, or you know, international players coming out?
I just like I don't know. We've been influenced by, you know, our culture. You know, we dominated the game. You go back from Jordan to Hakeem to Hakeem. Yeah, you consider him a European too, huh? Yeah,
African.
I mean, the game is definitely in our favor. Let's just put it like
100%.
that. It's definitely in our favor, and the guys over there, they just got that stigma over there that, like you say, they just sometimes they soft, they don't play defense, they just want to shoot and, you know, and get fouled and be like, No,
That's the stereotype.
They
That's
say.
the stereotype. 100%.
No, that's a stereotype, but that's what they say.
100%,
Y'all
yeah.
some tough motherfuckers.
No,
Y'all
I
ain't
know,
tough,
but that's
y'all
what it
tough
is.
as shit.
100%.
But you know that's what they
man,
say.
yeah,
Right? All right,
100%.
cool. I don't want nobody
No,
to
I
get
got you.
twisted out
No,
there.
keep
but,
that on. That's the way it
but
is.
for the most
I
part,
get it.
I just think we just got a lot of skilled guys. We got a lot of talents out there that's just making the league move, man. But you get every once in a while, like I say, you get your Greek freaks, you get your Lukas. Yeah. Speak of Luka, what you think about Luka?
Incredible. I think that what do you want me to speak on? On
I don't know.
trade
y'all
or having
both from the
Luka,
same
or
town. I just want to
what
know.
do you guys want to talk about?
Are you guys buddies? Do you know each other?
We actually don't know each other. We know of each other. We had different routes kind of taking us to NBA. But I think when he first got to the league, what was it, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
I think Mark Stern or somebody called me and they're like, what do you think about him? He comes from the same country. And a couple of them called me and I said, I'll be honest, like I watched him play and he might be the only one that reminds me a little bit more than anybody else of Kobe. The reason being, he plays with a smile. He understands the geometry on a basketball court very well. He's talented, but there's something in his eyes that when he plays game of basketball is just that killer.
Yeah.
That killer thing that he has, like he can smell blood, like Kobe always said, I can smell blood. You can see that he's still young, but I think he's got something of my big bro there. And the way we got him, I think it also, Kobe might have something to do with it because of Nico and RP. So let's just be honest. Yeah. But he's special. He's definitely special. And I think if he stays on the right path, and I think he will, there's quite a few championships ahead of him.
That's big praise. Big praise.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time.
That's why I don't know, but I think
it's just a matter of time before y'all hook up.
Just a matter of time.
Just a matter of time.
When the timing is right. If the timing is there, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. You never, one thing I've learned, you never rush things. You never force it. You never, if things are meant to happen, if things are meant to be, they will happen. Just like, being here with you guys, it's really an honor. Like I'm happy that's my first one with the OGs here.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to move forward past basketball. I want to talk about that. Correct me if I'm wrong now. I want to talk about Aleksander Wine.
Close enough. Aleksander Wine. Here we go.
So, shout out to Aleksander Wine.
I see you got a present for us.
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to see the present you got for us.
I got you. 2000. Here we go. I'll give you.
Okay, yeah. So.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aleksander Wine.
Aleksander Wine.
Shout out, man.
My boy
Sasha.
Aleksander Wine.
Appreciate
We're going to be touching all of this.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
You guys are family.
And just explain to us, like, how did this all come about?
So when we lived in Italy for 5 years, Pops fell in love with the winemaking, with the idea of it. And he just, the second dream was born. If we are lucky enough, or if we put enough work in to win a championship and go to, pursue my dream, because they were my family was my support from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And like mentioned before, like without them, I would not be able to keep my head straight in LA, number one. But it was just after we won the first championship. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it in 08 because, whatever. We lost the championship.
Hey now.
But we did it in 2010. We pulled the trigger on a property here in Paso Robles, and my dad's the winemaker. He's doing his thing. My parents live on a property, and we wanted to do something that resonates and tells the story. So it's an old world wine made in a new world. It's that bridge between Californian wines and European wines, leaning more towards European wine. My brother is the COO. He runs the show. He's the one that is putting us now globally all over the place. But it wasn't easy. Just like, anything in life you do. And, we talked about that before. You got a couple of different businesses, and it takes time. It takes time to find the right teammates. It takes time. If the product is there, you need to believe in it, and you need to know where you want to go. And we had an idea. He had a vision of what he wanted to do. And now 15 years later, we are, proudly and blessed enough to say that is #1 requested wine here in Cali or out of Cali.
Shout out to Aleksander Wine.
Big shout
Appreciate
out
that.
to
Thank you. It's a family thing. For the next 50 generations, God willing.
But you know what? I noticed, Sasha, a lot of guys, TA, is in the wine business. A lot of athletes starting to, you know, like you, what's my man in New Orleans? Was it Portland?
CJ McCollum.
McCullum.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys,
Mello.
Yep.
You know, so it's a lot of guys. I think that's cool, man. Maybe all the NBA guys,
I love it.
should hook up and come out with one wine. No Bron and wine too.
Oh, that's a
That'd
good
be tight,
idea.
though.
You just consult something.
Come on, man. It'd be the lead wine.
No, 100%.
Everybody had a special bottle together. It'd be hard.
100%.
Shout out.
100%. Like, you know, when I was first in NBA, not many of my teammates like wine or we enjoyed it, like at dinner and stuff like that. But for us, this is like a family thing. Like, we don't have any employees. It's like, you know, talking about the mud, like I go there every 2 weeks and we work. We put everything through the process and understanding that with our hands, whatever is in there, it went through our hands. We are a professional crew. We hire only for harvesting. Have you ever tried to harvest the grapes? Bro, I tried that when I was still playing. I threw my back out. It's impossible. So I was like 3 weeks just with back spasm. It's hard.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's a craft that, you know, we love and we want to build for the future.
Nice.
So you are now the ambassador for the Lakers. Can you talk about expanding your role with the Lakers beyond basketball now?
Yeah, I'm, you know, like I said before, I had to get out of the basketball in order to bring something new back. So being a consultant, I started doing stuff with the Lakers again years ago, but just recently as a consultant. So it's an honor to be back in the family. Like you mentioned Jeannie before. Jeannie will forever be my sister. Linda, who, if you guys are looking for one of the best TV shows right now and you want to understand what Lakers franchise is all about and, you know, through the kind of comic way, watch The Running Point. I kid you not. You'll die laughing and you will understand everything. It's one of the best TV shows right now, the fastest show from Netflix to start the second season. But I just want to be back in basketball. I think that basketball is something that taught me and gave me a lot. And I don't want to do it just because. I don't want to run and chase places, but whatever is meant to be. Like I'm starting the academy, actually, the clinic in July for the first time, where 3 pillars will be accountability, adversity, and leadership, because I went to a couple of high school games and I was really disappointed. I had friends with kids and they're like, they're not teaching them the right way. It's just horrible. So my brother and I, we were talking for a while now and we waited for the right opportunity. So this is the first time I'm even talking about that. I'm really excited to start this and to give kids something that I've learned back to them and try to teach them, or at least give them some right paths towards that mindset of a champion or of a leader. Out of, 100 kids, you're not going to have 100 NBA players, but you're going to find 1 or 2 that might go play basketball. But our goal is to give them opportunity to be able to think with their own heads on the basketball court and take it elsewhere. So, yeah.
Talk about that awards you're about to receive, and please correct me on how to say it right.
Say it again.
Premio Marinini. Am I close?
Yeah, you're getting there. So,
Damn. That's close, though. That's a good job.
that's why when we played them, like he was the one actually, when Kobe and I would speak on the basketball court, he would come and listen and we started speaking Italian. They're like, what are you talking about?
I knew it. I promise you, I knew it. I knew it. I'm like, bro, they just said something in English on the defensive end. They get on the offensive end, they speaking the whole nother language.
And you say you knew it, huh?
I knew it, bro. I promise you, I knew it.
Yeah.
Because I be overplaying and then y'all saying something to make when you go back door or something.
Yeah.
I knew it, bro.
That's why you were laughing.
I knew it. I appreciate you for clarifying that,
100%.
bro. Oh,
100%.
man.
That's funny.
No.
Man, these folks would just start. I'm like, what? I'm like, boy, I know you finna back door. Don't go ahead.
You about to back
I know
door.
you about to back door. But I don't understand the language, so it was kind of over my head. But I kind of had because all of the film I watched a lot of film on that.
I know you did. I mean, you played defense like you watched a lot of film. Trust me. I was like, damn, that's the only way to get to him. Change the language. Change the language. We knew that. There were a couple of backdoors at the right time that he was left on the island there.
Man. But explain the award though, for real.
So it's Premio Manarini. It's one of the most prestigious awards you can get in Italy. It's called Fair Play also. So they basically give it to champions that went through Italy. And Italy being my second home and still have strong ties there, I was actually very honored and grateful that they even considered me to do something like that. I had I found out about that like a week ago, and I had a conversation. She's an ex-volleyball player. She's also a champion, and she runs the show there. So we had a good conversation to understand better what it's all about. And I'm looking forward to it, that, I'm going to be receiving this in June. Actually, I'm sorry, July 2nd and 3rd, going there. Big gala, got to put a suit on, represent properly and stuff like that.
You got to be boxed in, man. You got to be
But it's a big thing. It's a big honor, and I'm very flattered. So shout out to everybody in Italia. Ci vediamo presto.
Yeah, so what's up with Hito, man? That Hito story. That Hito.
So shout out to Hito. Hito's forever and, one of the best, my guy. But he's going to like the story. He knows about the story because, so we would play with Orlando. I think it was right before the finals. And, you joke with the teammates and stuff like that. And, Elo is like, Elo is just funny as hell, man. So I think they were on the court and they cleared the court, and he knew Hiro and I were close, and he goes, Sasha, Hiro, ugly like a motherfucker. And I'm like, what? Out of nowhere. I don't know if you can put that on the air or not. But he's like, Hiro, ugly. And Elo can get into it, right? Like he goes like heavily. And I'm like, Hiro, come on. I'm like, Elo, stop it, bro. Come on.
Hey, yo, ugly.
Long story. So listen to this. It was a joke and all, right? So we played them in the finals. We had the last game. And I don't know where we went for dinner. Then it's like a dinner club in Orlando, like, for a drink, lounge. It was the day before. And I'm there with Hiro because Hiro's my guy. And Elo's there. And I'm like, yo, Elo, come here, man. And he's like, because they were kind of guarding each other. I'm like, what did you say about Hiro the other day? and Elo's like, nah, man, nah. I'm like, what did you say about Hiro? Come on, man. And Hiro's like, come on, Elo, what did you say? No, man, I can't say it. I'm like, come on, bro. Then he said it. And Hiro started laughing like crazy. We just started, because it was a joke.
Ugly little motherfucker,
yeah,
man.
but it was,
boy, Hiro, man.
Hiro's a good-looking guy, man. Come on, he's no, but to tell you like that, camaraderie and what you had and how we see it. And Hiro could have easily said, "Yo, fuck you," but Hiro took it as whatever, because he knew how, it was a joke. It was whatever. And, he's a hot Elo's crazy, bro.
He got a lot of
He's not the best looking guy, but he's not like, he's
definitely not
one
the
of our,
knife in the drum.
He's not a GQ model, but he's okay,
Sasha, what makes the difference of a European player being able to stick in the league versus not being able to stick?
Right, because you got guys like
Andre
Bargnani.
Mario Hezonja.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Hezonja, yeah. I think it's the situation that you are put in. A lot of these guys, Mario, like, not to name names right now, they were probably not in the right situation or put into the situations to be able to help and to give back. Because like we said before, everybody's playing the same way. So, they're going to be cuts, they're going to be certain things. But I think if you're put in the right situation, if you understand what you have to do, especially for European players. If you're like, okay, this is your mission, you got to do this, this, and this. But a lot of times, coaches will have different views or different idea of the player. And you might be 6'5", you got to play power forward. It's just, you got to be really, really blessed and lucky in order to be in the right situation. And I always said, if you believe in it, you're going to find a way to get there. Like, for example, a friend of mine, a really good player, back-to-back champion in Europe, Vujačić. He played against US in the Olympics. He went from OKC to Charlotte to Phoenix. Right now, he's not playing in Phoenix. One of the best European players, like point guard, crafty with the ball, kind of combo guard. And I feel bad for him because I know he took this leap of, big step to come here and prove that he can play, and he can. And it's just about finding the right situation, the coaching staff, the people that have been there before, because he's a champion, in order to allow you to get there. And a lot of guys, they just don't get that chance. I don't think he got the fair shot. Like, but at the end of the day, with me, I knew where I was going to. Like, I knew I'm not going to start. I knew I was, Kobe's backup in a way. And I had to understand that giving up everything, like from your game, in order to have a couple of things the best.
Yeah.
And those guys, they were never in a situation where there was a championship kind of team that coach would go and say, hey, we're building this team right now. We see you here, here, or here. They never had that. And that goes back to playing the same exact way and just circling around. They're players that never made it and they could have easily played. But it's tough.
That's tough.
Who you like watching now in today's game? Who your must-see TV if you get a chance to watch the game?
Well, I watch a lot of basketball, obviously. I kind of have to, but I also love it. I think Nikola is incredible, man. I think
big fella.
Wow. And I told him that 2 years ago when they won. I'm like, man, you saved that mindset of like understanding that basketball can be played the right way. Is he put in the situations where he's, excelling everybody else? Yeah. Is he overused at the moment? Probably, because you got to be fresh for the playoffs. You guys know that. He's doing basically everything. But I love him. I love Luka. I like actually our team, the way we're playing right now. I think we have a big shot of going really far with a little bit of luck, playing the right way. I like Giannis, man. Giannis is my guy, and I think they are, him and Lil, they're getting the right pieces there right now. They're getting that momentum. They won the cup, right?
Yeah.
So
and they added Kuzma too. So
and I like Shea. I like to watch Shea. Shea's.
Bro, you just took the words out of my mouth, bro. Like,
I was about to say, I was getting there. Wait a second. I like Jason. I like Tatum, actually. I like Tatum a lot.
Tatum.
I like what they're doing in Boston. I mean, I can't say it out loud again, but I think JT and the way they play, just a little too much 3-point shots coming from a 3-point shooter is just not what I think is going to give them that back-to-back, but we'll see.
We'll see.
But love watching play. It's hard to say, man, because they all play the same.
I got a question. We speaking of European players. Give me your all-time 5 Europeans all time.
Well, I can give you the ones that kind of paved the way or whatever, but I got to go with Nikola. He's probably up there. Dražen was idol of many. Arvydas Sabonis, Marčiulionis, the first point guard, the tall point guard. It was just incredible.
He was with the Nets, right?
Dražen was.
Dražen
was. Petrovic. Yeah, Dražen Petrovic was the one
heard stories about him.
For me, coming from Europe, playing that position and understanding, like they all knew in Europe how good he was, but he was one of the first ones here. And again, not playing for the right coach at the time and was not given an opportunity to really shine. Then I think he was first in Portland, then he went to Jersey, and then in Jersey he just exploded. But sometimes it's inevitable to deny the talent, or you just can't see. That tells a lot. But we had quite a few Europeans that were I'm for sure leaving somebody out right now. Dirk, Big Dirk, in Dallas. Come on.
Shout out my boy Dirk.
Big Dirk, bro.
Dirk, one of them ones.
And you missing one more. I believe you might say it, but I don't know.
I can't leave that out. Like Dirk was, Paul, who played with me, Gasol, he was best for the Pedro, of course. Vlade was actually my rookie year.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm getting there.
It's your fab. It's your fab.
Bro, I'm getting there like crazy. But best five, you can't say best five because they're all different eras. And for us was like, then you look, Tony did great stuff. Like I'm looking at the
Tony Park.
exactly. Manu was
I love that one.
but Manu's not European. He's from
We gotta give
Argentina.
him a top seven.
He's from Argentina, but that's not European. That's Argentina.
Oh, okay.
That's different.
Arvidas
Arvidas Sabonis is one of the first one with Divas. They were the first ones here with Draži. You will know that. You should know that actually. Dino Raja.
Dino Raja.
You better know Dino Raja. He's a Celtics legend.
Big fellas?
Yeah, big fella.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. Trust me, I'm familiar.
And there's so many. It's hard to say, but definitely one that is changing the game because of the way he plays is Nikola. Like he just understands the game 10 steps ahead of everybody else. So it's fun to watch him.
So is he the greatest European now that ever played a game?
Talking about the GOAT is a really, really tough conversation. I think everybody is the great. I mean, there are a lot of great players, right? But if you want me to be honest with you and tell you who my GOAT is, I'm gonna be a little bit biased. Kobe is my big brother.
For sure.
I'm going back to that right now. But when we're talking about basketball, in my opinion, MJ and Kobe are right here. Like this is MJ Kobe. This is the GOAT for me.
We can honor that.
Yeah.
And
that's about what
then
it said for me.
Everybody else, because you can't take it away. Everybody brought something incredible. So everybody's GOAT in their own. If Nikola is the European GOAT, I think it's going to be the battle between him and Luka in the next few years. So let's watch. Let's watch. You like that, huh? Let's watch that for part 2.
Well, Sasha, man, now that you're here, man, this being your first podcast, man, you gave us the Aleksander, man. We gonna pop this open later on.
You better. Let me know what you think.
We want to give you out the mud, fresh out the
Come on, man. Out the mud. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Kill it.
Yes, sir.
Love it.
Man, out the mud.
Much love, man. Out the mud, man. 10-year veteran.
Love it.
2-time champion, Sasha Vujačić, man. Out the mud.
Out the mud.
Man.
Pleasure.
Faith t-shirt. Let's go.
Salute.
Yes, sir.
Bro, we did that. How you felt, bro? First